Hello students, welcome back. In the previous lesson, we have covered the first poetry of your course, that is Dust of Snow, right? And in this lesson, we are going to cover the second poetry, that is Fire and Ice. Both these poems have been written by Robert Frost. Okay, we have read much about Robert Frost in our previous lesson. We learned what's the definition of poetry. What definition of poetry has been given by Robert Frost? Okay, he used to say that poetry is beyond what is written in words. Okay, it definitely has a deeper meaning. Okay, so this is yet another poetry of Robert Frost that we are going to learn today. Clear, children? And is written by Robert Frost. The title of the poem is Fire and Ice. Fire in this poem is a symbol of human emotion, desire. Okay, let us understand the title of the chapter poem first of all. So fire here is a symbol of desire, and ice is the symbol of human emotion, hatred. Okay, now what are we learning here is, first of all, it is an age-old debate as to how the world is going to come to an end. Few people say that the temperature will rise to an extent, and due to globalization, the world will come to an end. This earth is going to come to an end, right? Few others says that the temperature will lower down, and the ice can also become the reason of Earth's destruction. Okay, so it is a very age-old debate where the reasons are given for Earth's destruction. But now these two things have been taken here in this poem with completely different meaning. Here, as I told you, fire is a symbol of desires that human beings have, and ice is the symbol of emotion, hatred. Now here in this poem, taking the same taking the same argument, debate that how the earth is going to end through fire or ice, and in this poem it has been shown that how humans are taking themselves on the way of destruction by keeping these powerful emotions, that is hatred and desire. This is a very short poem of 9 lines where the writer is saying that, where the poet is saying that humans have so strong emotions, okay, they have so many desires that these desires are taking humans on the verge of chaos, on the verge of destruction. Getting me? Now here he is saying that some say the world will end in fire, okay, and some say in ice. Of course, as I told you, it's a real debate also how this world is going to come to an end, through fire or ice. But here we are talking about humans, okay, where fire means what, children? Desire. So in other words, and ice means hatred. So in other words, writer is trying to say that how human beings are taking themselves on the way of destruction. Okay, how will human beings cause destruction in their own lives? Clear? How are they going to cause destruction? If they are not going to control their emotions. Okay, if they are not going to actually be very controlled. Okay, so here if they are not going to control their desires, and if they are going to let hatred empower them, hatred dominate them, okay, or they are actually increasing these emotions within them, of course they are going on the way of destruction. Clear, children? So the poet here is saying that few people believe that world is going to end through fire and few believe through ice. And I told you the other meaning of it, the symbolic meaning of it, that the life of humans is going to come to an end either because of their desire or because of keeping hatred for other people. From what I have tested of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. as I told you, fire is a symbolic meaning of desire over here, right? So he says that he believes that fire will become the reason of the destruction of humans. Okay, he is of the point that fire will lead this world to chaos, lead this world to the verge of chaos. Clear, children? So if human beings are not going to control their desires, okay, we have so many desires, right? We have endless desires, and in order to fulfill those desires, we go on wrong ways. We try to achieve them in a very, very illegal ways, wrong ways, and that is leading our world to destruction. That is leading our lives to destruction and chaos, right? Am I? So the poet is of the belief that the poet believes that the world is going to come to an end because of desires that human beings have within. Clear, children? Now moving forward, but if it is to perish twice, perish means completely destroy. Okay, and then he is saying that if I give my opinion, if the poet says that if I give my opinions and if world has to come to an end twice, okay, then ice is also enough to cause destruction in this world. Okay, what is he saying that? I think I know enough of hate. As I told you, hatred is a symbol of ice. Ice is a symbol of hatred over here, right? So he is saying that even ice is enough to cause destruction in this world. And in other words, hatred is enough to cause chaos in humans' life, right? Am I? To say that for destruction, ice is also great and word suffice. Suffice is enough to destroy this world. Here, children, if I say the symbolic meaning of world, it can be the lives that human beings are living, because due to hatred and desires, whose life is actually moving on the path of destruction? Human's life, right? And fire and ice no doubt will destroy this whole world. Fire and ice are the reason of the destruction of this whole world. But if we say take the symbolic meaning of these words, then hatred and desire are causing destruction in the lives of humans. So here the word is the W-O-R-L-D. Word is a symbolic meaning of what, children? The human life. Clear? So this is a very short poem, children. The inspiration of this poem is believed to be in Dante's Inferno. Okay, there was a writer known as Dante, and he wrote Inferno, in which he took the 9 rings that lead to hell. Okay, so his inspiration, Robert Frost's inspiration of writing Fire and Ice in 9 lines. He has also written how many lines, children? 9 lines, right? And he is also talking of destruction of humans. And in Inferno also, Dante, the writer, has talked of destruction, how humans are moving towards hell. So the inspiration of this poem is believed to be Dante's Inferno. Is that clear? So here we learnt the 9-line poem of Robert Frost, in which he is starting the poem. He has given the beginning to the poem by saying that how this world is going to come to an end. He says it is an old age debate which says either by ice or by fire, right? First of all, he believed, the writer, the poet believed that the world is going to come to an end because of fire, right? Because fire means desires. Human desires are growing so much. They are uncontrollable. Humans are not putting an end to their desires, right? Am I? And in order to achieve those desires, in order to fulfill those desires, no doubt he is taking a wrong path, which is leading her or him to destruction. Clear, children? So here what we have learnt is that either ice or fire will become the reason of the destruction of world, and hatred or the desires of humans are becoming the reason. These powerful emotions that humans have within them are taking them on the verge of chaos. Clear? So this is first of all, in this poem, Robert Frost believed that desires, that means fire, is going to take this world to an end, that is human life to an end. And then he says that even ice is enough to slowly and gradually take this world, or take the human life towards the end, towards the destruction. Okay, so of course the poet has not clearly displayed his opinion or put forth his opinion that how this world is going to come to an end. Okay, because first he believed that fire is going to take the world to the destruction, and then he believed that ice is going to take the world to the, ice can also take the world to destruction. Clear, children? Fire and ice will cause the destruction of world. Hatred and desire is causing the destruction of humans. So a clear message has been given in this poem that humans should control their emotions. Humans should control their desires. Humans should not run after just their desires, their wishes. They should have controlled desires. Clear, children? It's not wrong to have desires, but we should also know where to stop, when to stop, how to stop. Is that clear? So when humans learn to control their emotions, of course they are living a very good life. But if they are not controlling their emotions, these uncontrollable emotions are leading them towards chaotic life, leading them towards destruction. Am I clear? This is a very simple poem, children, which is teaching us about our emotions, how we should keep them under control, okay, and how if we do not keep them in control, they are going to lead us to destruction. Clear? Now we are going to learn the literary devices that have been used in this poem. Let us see the rhyming scheme, children. Rhyming scheme is A, B, A, A, B, C, B, C. Okay, A, B, A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B is the rhyming scheme of the poem, children. And I hope you know what and how do we take out the rhyming scheme. Rhyming scheme is taken out by seeing the last words of each line of a particular poem. Okay, if you are seeing the last word of this line, fire, is it matching with ice? When we pronounce fire and ice, is the pronunciation matching? No. But if we take fire and desire and we pronounce them, fire, desire, are they matching in pronunciation? Yes. So we are giving them same letters, right? So rhyming scheme of each poem is different and is taken out by seeing the last word of each line of a particular poem and then giving them the different letters. All the words which are same in pronunciation, okay, the last words of each of all the lines, okay, which are similar, are given similar letters. Clear, children? Now anaphora, children. What is anaphora? Anaphora is when two or more lines begin with same word. Clear? It is known as anaphora. So here what are we seeing? First two lines are beginning from the word some. Both the lines are beginning from the same word some. Some say, some say. So what literary term it is? Anaphora. Okay, A-N-A-P-H-O-R-A. Anaphora has been used. Now coming on to alliteration. What are alliterations, children? Alliterations are when in a same line two or more words are having similar consonant sound. There are vowels A, E, I, O, U and rest of the letters are known as consonants, right? So if in a same line two or more than two words are having same consonant sound. So W, W, same line, and these both the words are beginning with the same consonant sound. So it is alliteration. Here also second alliteration has been used, children. Favor, fire. So both the words are beginning with the same consonant sound. F. So it is also alliteration. So the second literary term that we have studied here is alliteration. First one was anaphora. Clear? Now assonance. In assonance, when in a same line there is a vowel sound, repeated vowel sound, it is known as assonance. Okay, like in alliteration it was consonant sound, in assonance it is vowel sound. Okay, and in alliteration it was consonant sound. Now here we are seeing the sound of O repeating continuously. Okay, in alliteration we search the consonant sound at the beginning of the words, right? And in assonance it can be in the middle of the words or in the pronunciation. Okay, so here we are seeing that assonance has been used. Okay, because O sound is repeating continuously. Clear, children? Now personification. What is personification, children? Personification is giving living status to non-living things, making non-living things do something that humans can do. Okay, like if I say the teapot is smiling, so can a teapot smile? No. But in poems we usually hear, you must have learned the nursery rhymes also, in which it says, I am a little teapot, short and stout. Okay, so teapot is singing. Can a teapot sing? No. When these non-living things are made to act like humans, it is known as personification, right? Now here, fire and ice, okay, are being considered as the reason of destruction. Clear? So they are non-living things, and destruction is usually considered to be made by humans. So here fire and ice has been personified, and so personification has been used in the poem. Last literary term that we are second last literary term that we are learning here is imagery. Imagery is something that we can feel through our 5 sense organs. Okay, through our eyes, through our ears, through our nose, right? We can touch. Okay, so the things that can be felt through sense organs. Okay, so here we can see that how he has written the world is going to come to an end through fire, and we can imagine the fire burning, right? So an image of fire is created in our mind. And we can even create an image of ice everywhere in our minds that is causing destruction. Okay, we can imagine ice to a distance till where we can see. So an image has been created here. Okay, visual image has been created here. So imagery has been used in the first line also and second line also. Okay, and last one is enjambment. Now, what is enjambment, children? Enjambment is when a writer, okay, is writing a line and that line is left incomplete and is continued in the next line. Why a writer leaves the line incomplete? Maybe for a rhyming scheme. Okay, because the rhyming scheme is not setting. Here the enjambment has been used. Desire and fire. Okay, so he had to match the rhyming scheme. So this line is incomplete. It is completing over here. So from what I have tested of desire, okay, what? It is incomplete line. This is being completed over here. I hold with those who favor fire. So these two lines are making a complete sense. Okay, so when the writer, in order to maintain the rhyming scheme or whatever, his reason is, he breaks the line in two, and when two lines make one sentence, it is known as enjambment. Clear, children? So I have already told, I hope you must have understood the poem. This is a very simple poem instructing humans, giving a clear message to human beings that we should start controlling our emotions, our desires, our hatred for someone, because if we won't control them, then we are definitely taking ourselves towards chaos, towards destruction. Clear? A person who lives his life in a controlled manner lives a successful life. Clear? In the same way, fire and ice. Of course, fire here can be taken for globalization also, right? Because this earth is moving towards destruction only because of globalization, we believe that, right? And even fire, ice, if the temperature will go too low, then ice can also become the reason of earth's destruction. This is what is being told in this poem, but the symbolic meaning of this poem is that hatred and desires are causing destruction in humans' life. That's all for today's lesson, children. If you have any query related to poem, you can post them on WhatsApp group. Thank you.